The Ukraine conflict in 2021, a turning point unfolds, Day 3 and 4. Introduction. The Ukraine conflict in 2021 reached a critical juncture on days 3 and 4, as tensions escalated and battles intensified. These pivotal moments not only shaped the trajectory of the conflict but also had far-reaching implications for Ukraine, Russia, and the international community. This article focuses on the events of Day 3 and 4, shedding light on the significant developments and their consequences. Day 3, the Battle of Mariupol. April 10, 2021, witnessed a major turning point in the Ukraine conflict with the Battle of Mariupol. Mariupol, a strategically important city in eastern Ukraine, became the epicenter of a fierce confrontation between Ukrainian forces and Russian-backed separatists. Control over Mariupol held significant implications for the balance of power in the region. Pro-Russian separatist forces launched a large-scale offensive on Mariupol, utilizing heavy artillery, tanks, and infantry. The objective was to capture the city and establish a stronghold to further their territorial ambitions. The Ukrainian military, determined to defend their homeland and protect the civilian population, mounted a robust defense. The battle raged on for hours, with intense artillery exchanges, street-to-street combat, and air support from both sides. The clashes resulted in a significant loss of life and destruction of infrastructure. The people of Mariupol, caught in the crossfire, endured immense suffering and displacement. Ukrainian forces, bolstered by international support and their unwavering resilience, managed to repel the separatists and maintain control over Mariupol. The battle marked a symbolic victory for Ukraine, demonstrating their ability to resist and defend against Russian aggression. Day 4, International Response and Implications. On April 11, 2021, the international community closely monitored the developments in Ukraine, realizing the gravity of the conflict. The events of Day 4 had profound implications for the region and beyond. 1. Diplomatic efforts and sanctions. The escalation of the conflict prompted intensified diplomatic efforts by world leaders. Diplomatic channels were activated, and negotiations were underway to find a peaceful resolution to the crisis. The United Nations and other international bodies emphasized the need for an immediate ceasefire and called on all parties to de-escalate. In response to Russia's continued aggression, several countries, including the United States and several European nations, announced a series of sanctions. These targeted key individuals and entities involved in the conflict, aiming to exert economic and political pressure on Russia. The sanctions were intended to send a strong message that the international community would not tolerate Russia's violation of Ukraine's sovereignty. 2. Humanitarian crisis and aid. The ongoing conflict had severe humanitarian consequences, with a significant number of civilians affected by the violence. The battles and shelling led to the displacement of thousands of people, creating a dire need for humanitarian assistance. International organizations and neighboring countries mobilized efforts to provide aid, including food, medical supplies, and shelter, to those affected by the conflict. 3. Geopolitical impact. The events of Day 4 had broader geopolitical implications. The conflict in Ukraine further strained the relationship between Russia and the West. The United States and its allies reinforced their support for Ukraine, condemning Russia's actions and emphasizing the importance of maintaining Ukraine's territorial integrity. The conflict also highlighted the vulnerability of bordering countries and raised concerns about broader regional stability. It underscored the necessity of ensuring the security of Ukraine and its neighbors, given the potential for the conflict to escalate and spill over into neighboring territories. Conclusion. Days 3 and 4 of the Ukraine conflict in 2021 were crucial turning points that shaped the trajectory of the conflict and had far-reaching implications. The Battle of Mariupol showcased Ukraine's determination to defend its sovereignty and highlighted the devastating consequences of the conflict on civilians. The international response, including sanctions and humanitarian aid, demonstrated the global community's commitment to resolving the crisis and supporting Ukraine. As the conflict continued, it became clear that a sustainable resolution would require concerted diplomatic efforts and a commitment to upholding international law. The events of these 2 days served as a stark reminder of the urgent need for a peaceful and diplomatic resolution to the Ukraine conflict, with the hope of restoring stability and security to the region.